The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.
Okay, I said 30 seconds, 15 seconds.
Well, yeah, the singers went on and on and on, but now it's time to bring in Donald Trump himself. It's got to be Monday. It's Donald Trump time. Hey, Donald.
Good morning.
So how surprised were you to get this suit? How angry are you today?
Well, it's not a question of angry. It's really an unfair situation. I mean, we have this wonderful school. It did a terrific job. They were really fantastic. You have an Attorney General, Eric Schneiderman, who really is a lightweight. He's not respected by anybody. He's got an approval rating. His high rating is about 4%. And, by the way, our approval rating on the school is 98%. 98% of the people that took the courses give it a really great rating. So we have this fantastic school, and he went after for political reasons and for other reasons. I mean, I know the guy very well. He sits up in my office asking me for campaign contributions. He's been there numerous times. He's a political hack, and he figures, by going after Trump, he can get some publicity, which, of course, he will get, but we'll try and make it as uncomfortable as possible.
And, Mr. Trump, the headline is over the weekend that he has brought this $40 million lawsuit against you, says that you ran a phony Trump University, promised to make a bunch of people rich, and that did not happen.
You know, we have a school. The school is really a good school. They did a terrific job. We had wonderful instructors, wonderful everything, and he brings the lawsuit. Now, you can turn on television at 2 in the morning, you'll see everybody and his neighbor advertising to buy this school and buy this book and go into these courses, and they have I've done really well in real estate. I've really imparted a lot of my knowledge to other people, and I really think that, we have a great school. This school is a great school. They've done a fantastic job. When you get 98% approval ratings from the people that took the courses, and then you get sued is rather shocking.
Yeah, it's very different. What you say, this 98% approval rating is very different from what he says. 5,000 students who paid up to $35,000 and said that they didn't get out of it what they expected to. But I understand you did make a contribution to him back in 2010. We have here for $12,500. So where is the bad blood coming from, you think?
Well, he was very unhappy because he wanted me to do much more than that. He wanted me to introduce him to a lot of my friends, my big business friends, and I didn't have time for it. He'd come up to my office, just unbeknownst. And, in fact, I actually gave him a contribution before he was elected. I think he was down in the polls, but it was never enough for him. He'd come up to my office, unbeknownst. He'd just come up, and I'd see him, and I'd sit with him. He'd tell me about Obama, his feelings about Obama, which, by the way, were not good. I'll tell you about that another day. He'd talk about Governor Cuomo in a very harsh tone. This is not a good guy. This is a real political hack. And everybody knows it. The people that know him know it.
Right.
And look, he's going after me for publicity. He'll get publicity, but let's see how it all works out. I think the case that we have is fantastic. I could have settled this case very, very easily, and I chose not to.
So wait a second. So he's suing you for $40 million, right?
Yes.
The way you're outlining it, there's nothing here except it's more personal than anything else. Are you going to sue him? Are you going to sue the state back?
Well, we're looking into that. We're thinking about bringing a major lawsuit. Think about how many schools you have all over the place, and he picks Trump. I mean, give me a break.
After golfing with President Obama, who clearly has not been fond of you or you of him?
I'll tell you what. Look, I've been a very harsh critic of the president, and I don't want to be. If he was doing a great job, I don't care. I'm a Republican. I'd say he's doing a great job, but he's not doing a great job. They meet on Thursday evening. I get sued by this AG Schneiderman. I get sued on Saturday at 1 o'clock. Now, think of it. What government agency in the history of this country has ever brought a suit on a Saturday? I've never heard of such a thing. So he meets with the president on Thursday night. He sues me on Saturday. It was a terribly drawn suit, incompetently drawn suit, and they obviously did it very quickly. But probably Obama, maybe this is a mini IRS. Maybe we have to get the Tea Party after these people, because this could very well be a mini IRS.
Well, I tell you what, Mr. Trump, I've got 2 kids in college right now, and neither one of those colleges guarantee that the kids are going to have jobs when they get out.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, you could go to Harvard, or you could go to the Wharton School of Finance. I guarantee you they don't have a 98% approval rating.
Right.
That's one thing I can tell you
now,
for sure.
One thing specifically that they write is the Trump Elite program, which costs between $10,000 and $35,000, promises one-on-one time with you. Number one, is the promise valid? And number two, did you spend one-on-one time with people that go into the Elite program?
Well, look, I was very much involved with the school from the standpoint of I see instructors, I talk to instructors, I talk to people, I worked very hard with the people that run the school to make sure it's good. I check resumes. It was very important to me. Obviously, it's not my main business. It's a small business. It's a business, frankly, that I would give and I would have given the profits to charity. It was not very meaningful. It was a business where I could help people.
Yeah.
And by the way, with profits going to charity, if there were any, and the profits would have gone to charity. Instead, we tell people, we ultimately get a letter, and we tell people we're going to have to at least close it up for a while. And guess what happens? New York State loses lots of jobs.
Right. So you will figure out how you're going to respond shortly. But just to recap, you feel like you have been targeted politically?
Well, look, I think so. And I'm not a very paranoid person. But when this lightweight attorney general, who is not respected by anybody, when he meets with the president and then files a suit 24 hours later, I think I've been targeted. And I think it's a big problem. And I think people ought to look into it. It's interesting also about this guy, a woman who brought down the New York State Senate with bribes. She brought down Malcolm Smith, Senator Malcolm Smith, and others. Yeah. She said she gave Schneiderman $25,000. Why isn't he under investigation for that? She made a statement that she gave him $25,000. Instead, he talks to me about a school with a high rating. It's ridiculous.
Well, and also, are you shutting down the university then? You're shutting the school down?
Well, I'm temporarily because you can't operate it. But when I got a letter, I closed it down. Now it's not closed, but we would open it again. But you know what happens, Brian? We have to get rid of a lot of people. We fire people. This is driving people out of New York. This is driving companies out of New York. And what about all the other schools that are operating in New York? And I guarantee you, they are not great schools. They don't get sued. Why aren't they being sued? You got hundreds of schools operating in New York, and they don't get sued, but Trump gets sued. You tell me. The day after he meets with the president, I get sued?
Yeah, and the president hasn't liked you for a while, you feel.
Well, it's one of those things, I guess. Maybe it's a personality conflict.
Your first time responding to this suit here. Thank you so much,
So
Donald.
listen, Donald Trump, we'll go to @RealDonaldTrump. If you have any questions, go to your Twitter account, which is quite active and entertaining, I might add, and @Fox and Friends. So this is big news today.
Certainly is.
Well, thank you very much. My Monday morning was a little different with you this morning, but I'm glad I could speak to you about it, and I'm going to do other shows right now.
All right.
Well, thank you very much.
We're glad you told us first. Donald Trump, who joins
you.
us every Monday. Thank you, sir.
The only people who don't want to disclose the truth are people with something to hide.